All right, let's talk about something really important today. It's a condition that isn't a final diagnosis, but more of a fork in the road. It's called prediabetes. And what's so crucial is that we now have the proven science that shows exactly how you can take the wheel and change the outcome. I mean, really think about that question. What if you could stop type 2 diabetes before it even starts? This isn't just some fantasy. For literally millions of people, this is a very real choice, a path that's right there in front of them. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that's possible. Okay, so first things first, what exactly is prediabetes? Well, the name kind of gives it away, right? It's the stage right before full-blown diabetes. Your blood sugar is up, which is your body sending you a clear signal that something's off. But, and this is the most important part, you're not all the way there yet. It's not too late. This is your window of opportunity. So that's what this is. It's a warning sign. And for a very long time, that warning sign raised a huge question for the entire scientific community. For decades, everyone was asking, is this progression from prediabetes to diabetes just inevitable? Or could we actually do something to stop it? You know, answering that was more than just an academic curiosity. It had the potential to change millions and millions of lives. And that need for an answer led to one of the most important medical studies of our time. And the answer came from this landmark clinical trial. It was called the Diabetes Prevention Program, or DPP for short. Its goal was crystal clear: find out once and for all what actually works. Okay, so the way they set this up was just brilliant. The researchers took thousands of people who all had prediabetes, and they split them into three distinct groups. The first group got intensive coaching on lifestyle changes. Their goals were really specific: lose just 7% of their body weight and get 150 minutes of exercise a week. The second group was given metformin, which is a really common drug for diabetes. And the third group? They were the control group, so they got a placebo, a sugar pill, and the same standard advice as the metformin group. So you've got three groups, three totally different approaches. They followed everyone for almost 3 years, and when the results finally came in, wow, they were incredibly clear. The study basically lit up two proven paths to preventing type 2 diabetes. But as we're about to see, one of those paths was way more powerful than the other. And here are the results. They're pretty stunning. Taking metformin was definitely effective. It cut the risk of developing diabetes by 31%, which is huge. But the lifestyle change group, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. They slashed the risk by 58%. Let's just pause on that number for a second. 58%. Just by focusing on a little bit of weight loss and some regular brisk walking, people cut their risk of getting type 2 diabetes by more than half. This was a total game changer. It proved, with hard data, that this disease isn't just treatable for many people, it's actually preventable. And hey, let's not overlook the metformin group. A 31% risk reduction is still a really big deal. It showed that medication could also make a real, meaningful difference, giving doctors another powerful tool to work with. But check this out. This might be one of the most hopeful findings from the entire study. For older adults, people age 60 and over, the lifestyle changes were profoundly effective. They cut their risk by an incredible 71%. It's just such a powerful message that it is never, ever too late to make a huge difference in your health. Okay, so the science is clear. The DPP study literally gave us a playbook for prevention. So now the question becomes, how do we turn this incredible science into simple steps we can actually take? When you boil it all down, it comes back to two main goals. First, lose a pretty modest amount of weight. We're talking just 5 to 7%. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's just 10 to 14 pounds. Not a crazy number. Second, get about 150 minutes of moderate activity each week. That's like a 30-minute brisk walk 5 days a week. The reason these simple things are so powerful is because they directly fight insulin resistance. See, that extra weight and not moving enough can make your body's cells kind of numb to insulin. But when you lose a little weight and get active, you wake those cells back up, and they can start using sugar from your blood properly again. These are achievable, science-backed goals, not some impossible mountain to climb.
So, what do you eat? Well, there's a really simple trick called the plate method. Just picture your dinner plate. You're going to fill half of it, half, with non-starchy vegetables. Think broccoli, salad greens, stuff like that. Then fill 1/4 of it with a lean protein, like chicken or fish. And that last quarter, that's for healthy carbs, like brown rice or whole wheat pasta. It's a super simple visual that helps you build a balanced meal every single time without any complicated calorie counting.
And beyond the plate, a few other habits are key. Cutting way back on sugary drinks is a big one. Getting plenty of fiber helps you manage blood sugar. And please, don't forget about sleep. Getting 7 to 8 hours a night is so critical. And of course, things like stopping smoking and not overdoing it with alcohol, those are huge for lowering your risk of all sorts of diseases, including diabetes. Okay, this all sounds amazing, but it brings up the next big question, right? Is this just a temporary fix? Do these benefits actually last over the long haul? Well, to find out, the researchers kept following up with the people from the study for years and years. And this timeline tells a fascinating story. 10 years down the road, the lifestyle group was still seeing a 34% lower risk of developing diabetes. The metformin group was at 18%. And even after 15 years, the benefits were still clearly there. Sure, the effect gets a little smaller over time, but that delay is real. It's significant. You're buying yourself years, potentially even decades, of better health.
Here's another way to think about it. After 15 years, in the group that got the placebo, 62% of them had developed diabetes. But look at the lifestyle and metformin groups. Those numbers are much lower. This means that for a whole bunch of people, taking action didn't just delay diabetes, it may have prevented it from happening altogether within that 15-year period.
And really, that brings us to the single most powerful takeaway in all of this. I love this quote from the CDC. Life doesn't always give you the time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. A prediabetic's diagnosis isn't a life sentence. It's a signal. It's your body's way of giving you a heads up, with plenty of time to act. It's a genuine chance to rewrite the next chapter of your story. So we've seen the data, we've walked through the playbook, the evidence is clear, it's powerful, and it's incredibly hopeful. We have a proven path forward. The only real question left is, what's your first step going to be? Thanks so much for joining me.